I'm Kiera Morgan. Thanks for joining me today on Coffee with Kiera, sponsored by the Human Being in Newport and Lincoln City. And today I'm excited to be joined by Tiana Tucker and Dr. Karen Gray with the Lincoln County School District. We're going to get some updates about the upcoming school year. Tiana, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Good. I'm Tiana Tucker. I am starting my 4th year as the Human Resources Director for Lincoln County School District. I've been in the county since 2004, taught at Newport High, was an administrator at Taft High, was an administrator at Newport Intermediate, and then most recently the principal at Sam Case, and then now been in this position, like I said, starting my 4th year.
Wonderful. And let's talk with Dr. Gray, getting ready to get school going again, hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's talk a little bit about how the upcoming school year is shaping up.
So it's going really great. And our kids are registering. It's fantastic. We started registering on August 9th. And a lot of people have registered their kids for school. We're super excited. So keep on registering. You can register online, and you can also visit your child's school and register. Just wear a mask on the inside. So we're really excited. The administration team is busy getting ready, and we're just as excited as we could be to have our kids back in school 5 days a week in person, ready to learn.
So let's talk a little bit about that. How do things look? Masks, of course, are mandatory for everyone, correct?
That is correct. Masks are mandatory in schools for ages 5 years old and up. That includes teachers, staff, visitors, volunteers, and contractors. And if you are in a 0 to 5 program, with our preschools or early learning, you do not have to wear a mask. That's the children I'm talking about. So indoors, all adults, all kids, everybody's got to wear a mask. And that's the way it is. And that's what we're going to be doing. Cloth masks do help us to not pass on the COVID virus. And we support the governor in what she asked us to do.
Another thing that the school district is doing is you have complete safety and cleaning protocols in place. Isn't that correct?
Yes, I'd like Dr. Tucker to take that question.
Yes, everything that we put in place last year, we kept in place this year. So we added custodians to every building. We added more frequent cleanings throughout the day with documented schedules for staff to see how often bathrooms are cleaned. All the staff have access to hand sanitizer regularly. They have access to change their mask. And we have air filters in the classrooms if staff need them or feel like that's going to help, lower their stress too. So we have air filters in so many areas and classrooms and spaces that don't have windows necessarily. So all of those are still in place. And then we have additional cleaning supplies and schedules for this year too. We've kept everything and then are just continually increasing as well.
And right now, of course, school is going back to the way it was before the shutdowns and before the pandemic. So 4 days a week, and then Wednesday is early release. Is that correct?
Correct. Yep. So we will have, you're right, more typical pre-COVID schedule. They'll have Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is the full day. And then Wednesday, they're out anywhere between, around 90 minutes for professional development. And the kids will all have masks on, the teachers will have masks on. And then we did hear today, the governor is going to require vaccinations for K-12 staff at this point around October 18th. So we don't know all of the details about implementing that and how that will look. And so, it's a safety measure, as Dr. Gray said, those 2 layers that we have are vaccination and masking, and it's going to only support the health of our students and keeping our schools open and keeping students in school so that they don't have to quarantine and their teachers don't have to quarantine. The more people we have are vaccinated and the more students have less chance of transmitting it because we're vaccinated and masked.
Has that created any challenges in hiring?
Oh, let me tell you, I don't actually think that it's the masking and the vaccination that's created that. You know, we definitely have a personnel crisis. I mean, I know we're in a pandemic and that's a health crisis, but it has created personnel challenges, you know, for our district and for the county at large. Everybody can see there's help wanted signs everywhere. You know, restaurants are closing not because their staff is, you know, unable to work, but because they don't have enough staff, and the staff that they have are tired. And the same goes for us. We have about 40 open classified positions right now. So classified positions are all of our support staff and usually provide direct service to students. So instructional assistants, we have our severely impacted students often require more adult support, and we are very understaffed at this point, and we need people to come back to work, and we need office support, we need assistance for the office, we need even contractors, bus drivers, custodians, kitchen staff, we need coaches, we need licensed staff, we need some teachers still. We're pretty good on teachers right now to start the school year, but the classified staff we are in desperate need of.
Now let's talk a little bit about school and registration. So it sounds like that's coming along easily. What does the busing situation look like? I know that that was a bit of a hiccup last year.
Mm-hmm. And I can speak to their staffing a little bit, and Dr. Gray can speak to the specifics of it. I know that whenever they're down bus drivers, they need to combine routes, which causes problems for families and causes problems for schools because they're doubling up on routes, but they are going to get kids home and to school as safely as possible. And they're all wearing masks on the bus. That's a federal mandate. But they also need bus drivers. And it's quite a process to get bus drivers certified to drive. You know, we fortunately can hire somebody today and quickly get them ready to go, and they can be in the schools tomorrow. But bus drivers, it takes a lot of training, and there's hours and hours of behind the wheel work for them. So as far as the personnel goes, I know that first student was about 12 drivers down, 10 or 12 drivers, and then they needed 8 subs to be able to fill in. And what happens is when they don't have enough drivers, we can only do the school to home routes. And so any field trips or any sports or any co-curricular end up, you know, suffering because we don't have enough drivers to be able to do those additional routes.
And let's talk a little bit about the 6 feet, 3 feet mandate. Is there distance mandates right now?
No, the idea is that you do a 3 foot physical distancing as much as possible. So not a 6 feet, but it was a 3 feet physical distancing as much as possible. It's not always possible to be able to have the numbers of kids in the classroom and 3 feet of distance, but as much as possible and to the extent possible, that is exactly what we will do.
And what about on the buses? Are there a separation on the buses?
So on the buses, there's a federal mandate that you will wear a mask. There isn't any way around that. There isn't any argument about that. That is a CDC federal requirement, and there is no spacing on the bus. You do the best you can. I really love how Dr. Tucker talked about the mitigation layers. The 3 layers are the mask, the vaccination, and the physical distancing. Then, of course, you have the cleanliness, the sanitization, the custodians, and all of that. So we are absolutely going to follow the masking. We are going to follow the 3 feet as much as possible. And of course, after October 18th, the vaccination for staff is required. So we're going to do the most that we can to try to keep everybody safe. I think I want to underline what Tiana was saying about hiring. That's one of the most important messages we have today with you, Kiera, on your show, is we are desperate for people to want to work, to come back to work, to be in our school district. Tiana did a great job of outlining in a newspaper, a local newspaper, exactly what the positions are that we are looking for. We have wonderful benefits, wonderful working conditions. It's a real opportunity for people. This is for the love of children, to be able to work with them and give them what they need. Everything we do in Lincoln County School District, everything is about giving the best to our children and giving them the best education we can. And we need people working for us to be able to do that. So we're just so encouraging people around the county. And you have such a great listener base now. I mean, you have really gotten popular, and people really listen to Pacific Northwest News and Entertainment. I look to Pacific Northwest News and Entertainment for my news, and such great reporting. I just really hope that people are listening today and that they will contact Tiana and her staff at Lincoln County School District and come work with us. We're really excited. She's got program after program to help people become teachers, psychologists, counselors, where we help people pay for these programs. A lot of people can't do these programs because they can't afford it. Well, we have grants, we have services, we have partners, we have OCCC, we have Western Oregon University. We have great partnerships to help people progress in their careers. We can't do that if you don't work with us. So we just really hope people will get the message today and sign up to work with us. And also, I want to put in a plug for registering your kids for school. You've seen the big, beautiful banners.
They're gorgeous.
The big, beautiful posters and the billboards. That billboard was a piece of art created by our teacher, Casey McEnany from Newport High School. He's a wonderful artist. We want you to register your kids for school. We're making it safe. Kids are back in school. We want you to come back to Lincoln County School District.
So is childcare an issue when it comes to getting employees? And housing's another big one.
Housing's a huge issue. Tiana can speak to the daycare.
I mean, housing and childcare are definitely both reasons that people will rescind offers that we've provided to them. And so, you know, we kind of have two different groups. We have the licensed group, which are teachers and school psychologists, counselors, any kind of specialists who come. And those often come from, you know, the Valley, or they come from out of state. So they're looking for a place to live. And sometimes they'll come here and spend a couple of weeks and they aren't able to find anything. It's really challenging for people who make good money to be able to find a place to live and raise their kids. And then, you know, finding a job for their spouse is really challenging in our area. And then, you know, if they have pets, not all places take pets. And then definitely finding a place for their children is difficult. And, you know, it's interesting because school age childcare is different than infants and toddlers. And so even if we have in the county places that can take more kids, they can take them at school age. And, you know, infants and toddlers, you know, when you have a staff that's young and has lots of babies, and then COVID babies happened, you know, there's not many, you know, even places that take infants and toddlers like ours. We have 4 programs that take infants and toddlers, but, you know, there's a max, you know, for safety. And so the waiting list at Newport High was 21 long, and the list at Taft High was 15 long. And that's in addition to our max capacity, what we normally would if we were fully staffed. So childcare is definitely a problem. And even if they find it, it's very expensive. And so, you know, we had a teacher take a leave of absence for the whole year this year because, you know, it's so expensive, and they would have to find somebody to watch just their baby because all of the others are closed. And so people can't afford to have just, you know, a nanny for themselves. So it's very challenging for young families to live in Lincoln County and find housing and adequate childcare, definitely.
So let's talk about some of the perks of working for Lincoln County School District.
Definitely. So for classified staff, we have, as Dr. Gray mentioned, we have tuition reimbursement if staff want to take classes, if they want to become certified, or if they just want to take classes that are going to support them in the education environment in which they're working. We have that. We have opportunities for staff to have a flexible working schedule. So they work just the school schedule. So if parents have young children and they want to work on the schedule that their children are on, they don't work on non-school days. So they have the same school schedule, which is great. We have positions from 3.5 hours a day to 6 hours to 8 hours. So people can kind of choose if they want to work in the office. We have those kinds of positions. And then if classified staff work 6 hours, they're fully benefited. So they have health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance. They have all of the other pieces that go with that full package. And then for a while, at least through October 1st, the district will waive the fingerprinting fee. So that's a $70 fee that the district will pay if classified staff are willing to come and work. And like Dr. Gray said, the future of our society is in our schools right now, and they've been out of school for so long that, we need to have a full staff for them to be able to come back and really maximize their time with their teachers as well. So we have lots of opportunities for professional development, and then also opportunities for, them to experience coaching and co-curricular activities. And we always need club advisors and people to support kids inside and outside of the classroom.
Now, what about volunteers? Is that an option?
Yes. So we have a distinction between visitors and volunteers. So I just want to be really clear. So we will be taking volunteers again, and those are people who have passed the background check and gone through our approval system to be able to work with students in school. And once they apply and have gone through and passed the background check successfully and they're vaccinated, they can show proof of vaccination. We'd love to have volunteers back in our schools September 20th. We're going to let them get rolling, get school going, get their staff together, and then we'd love to have volunteers in school again. And actually, volunteers are some of the way that we pick up staff, because we have parents working in schools, we have grandparents, and we say, hey, you're here every day for 3 hours. I think that I just should hire you and then I'll pay you. You're here anyway, so let's do it. So we love having volunteers, and we love the support of the community. And so we'll be glad to welcome them in. And visitors, we will still limit visitors, people who just want to come and have lunch with their children. We aren't able to do that still because of COVID and because of the number of people that we need to limit in the buildings, but definitely want to have some volunteers back in schools. And I know that parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles and family are excited. People in the community who don't have kids anymore, but they come and they read and work with kids, we'll be glad to have them back.
Is there anything else that we need to cover?
Yes.
We've missed?
Yes. So I would like to talk about our brand new K-12 online Compass school. So we've put up our own K-12 online school called the Compass School, and they're the Mariners, go Mariners, and their principal is Lindsay DeVries, and we have registration on our website for that school. That is the option for people who would like to stick with a fully online program. Now, K-6 is going to be with a regular Lincoln County School District teacher doing Lincoln County School District work. And 7 through 12 will continue with our online program, Edmentum. So we're going to be able to do, for K-12, we're going to be able to do 30 kids per grade level. And if we get more kids, we'll get more teachers and we'll expand. So right now we have about 75 students signed up, and we're super excited, and we'd like to take lots more. We'll also be standing up our first GED program. So there's sometimes people want to have a GED program. And I'm just very, very excited. The school district has reached its 3% cap on people wishing to enroll in online charters. So we're not allowing any more of those because there's a 3% cap, but we have another option. And it's a great option, and it's our option. And we're really looking forward to growing and developing this beautiful new program. And it's a school, it's a standalone school. Teachers are operating out of Newport High School, but it's K-12 all district. And you can go on our website, K-12 Online Compass.
All right. So it sounds like everything is green light, good to go. But I want to emphasize that you are under the direction of the state. And so
correct.
Things you're hoping to stay quote unquote normal and move forward.
As normal as we can.
Changes could happen. Is that correct?
Well said. There's not really much more to add to that. The governor is literally the superintendent of public instruction. And so she is the leader of education. And the Oregon Health Authority has the authority to create temporary and permanent rules in a time of crisis, of which we are. I'm very concerned about the numbers. Every day I watch them along with the rest of you. I am very concerned with those numbers. It is not going in a good direction. But the school district wants kids in school, and we want our kids to stay in school. And in order to do that, we are going to do what we need to do to make sure that we are keeping everyone safe and healthy. So as you said, things can change on a dime.
Yes.
I don't think we'll ever get used to that, but that's just the way it is. But
and I almost forgot, what about sports? Are sports continuing?
No, absolutely. We will have athletics. You have to wear a mask indoors until you play and compete. When you play and compete indoors, you don't wear a mask. We're going to have spectators. They have to wear a mask. There is no masking outdoors. So let me say that again. There is no masking outdoors. So this is all indoors. We will have athletics just like we always would. If you're playing and competing indoors, you are not wearing a mask. But if you leave the floor and you go to the bathroom or you walk around or you're sitting in the stands, the mask comes back on.
All right. I think we've covered a lot, ladies. I'm excited about school getting started. And again, if you are in need of a little work or a lot of work and you want to work with some kids, or do office work, or just about anything, Lincoln
That's right.
School District has something to offer for you.
Something for you.
Information about applying, is that available on the website?
It is. When you go to lincoln.k12.or.us, on the top, you'll see a little briefcase and it has careers. And so you will go there, and you can also apply to be a substitute, because we always need classified and certified subs as well. So lots and lots to choose from.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much for joining me today on Coffee with Kiera, again, sponsored by The Human Being, located at 6th Street and Highway 101 in Newport, and in Lincoln City on the west side of the highway at the north end of town by the TLC Credit Union. For Oregon Coast Breaking News, I'm Kiera Morgan.